I never thought I'd see the day when Daniel decided to quit. He had been smoking since long before we met, and it had become part of his daily routine, something as ordinary as drinking coffee in the morning. But last month he turned to me and said, "I think I'm done with it. It's too expensive, and I don't want to depend on it anymore." I was supportive, of course. How could I not be? This was a big step for him, and I wanted to be there every step of the way. But I wasn't prepared for what came next. The first few days weren't so bad, at least not outwardly. Daniel seemed restless, unable to sit still for long. Then the mood swings started. He snapped at me over the smallest things, sarcasm dripping from every response. "Do you want me to help you with anything?" I asked one afternoon. "If I needed help, I'd ask," he shot back. "Okay, sorry." "No, you're not," he muttered. I swallowed my frustration. I knew this was part of the process, but it hurt. I started feeling like I had to tiptoe around my own home. Every little thing I said seemed to set him off. He would pace the house like a caged animal, running his hands through his hair, sighing dramatically. One night I tried to talk to him about it. "Daniel, I know this is hard, but you don't have to take it out on me." He scoffed. "You're exaggerating." I wanted to argue, but I bit my tongue. Maybe he'd see it himself soon enough. One evening, I found him sitting alone in the dark, his hands clasped tightly together. He wasn't sleeping well. I could tell. "I don't even know who I am without it," he admitted, voice barely above a whisper. I sat down next to him. "You're still you, Daniel. You're just adjusting." He didn't answer, but for the first time in weeks, I saw something other than frustration in his eyes. Slowly, things began to change. He was still grumpy at times, but there were small moments where I caught glimpses of the man I married. He started eating better, sleeping a little longer. One day, I found him holding his old guitar, the one that had gathered dust in the corner for years. "I thought I'd forgotten how to play," he said, strumming a few chords. I smiled. "Guess you haven't." With his craving slowly fading, he began searching for ways to fill the void. We started going on walks in the evenings, something we hadn't done in ages. He suggested watching movies together, actually sitting through them without zoning out. He even picked up an old notebook and started writing again. I had no idea what he was working on, but seeing him engrossed in something other than frustration gave me hope. I remember the exact moment I knew he was turning a corner. We were in the kitchen, and I accidentally spilled flour everywhere. He looked at me, then at the mess, and for the first time in what felt like forever, he laughed. A real, genuine, belly-deep laugh. I laughed too, more out of relief than anything. "I've missed this," I admitted. "Me too," he said, shaking his head. "Me too." One evening, as we sat on the couch, I finally asked him, "Do you miss it?" He thought for a long time before answering. "If I think about it hard enough, yeah, but right now? No." It wasn't the answer I expected, but it was honest, and I could live with that. 2 months had passed, and the difference in him was undeniable. He still had his moments of frustration, but they were fewer and further between. He was more present, more engaged. I watched him one evening as he plucked away at his guitar, humming under his breath. I realized then that he wasn't just quitting something, he was rediscovering himself. If there's one thing I learned from this, it's that change isn't easy. It's messy and painful and full of doubts. But watching Daniel fight for a better version of himself made me love him even more. For anyone else going through this, whether you're the one quitting or the one supporting, just hold on. because on the other side of all the frustration and withdrawal and bad days, there's something worth waiting for. And for Daniel and me, I think we're going to be just fine.